right, here we go. It's the start of the Masters of the Genius Universe Masterclass event, April 1st and 15th. Welcome, all you wonderful modern-day masters of the Genius Universe. Santari and I are thrilled to be doing this with you. So,
Yes, we are.
yeah, there's a few purposes to why we're doing this. This, of course, is day one and video one that we're going to do for you. And we intend to put in some little bit of our own sharing of how we've learned to grow our own mastery and live with it. We're going to put in some tips, some energetic exercises. Santari might do a Song of the Genius Universe to take you on a journey to touch the infinite you and your own mastery, etc., etc. But beyond all that, too, it's not just about you stepping into more of your own individual mastery, although we intend that. It's also about taking our collective mastery to a whole new mega super duper whopper level. So, and I'm sure there'll be big work to do as well during this period because, we've got Easter coming up through this 15-day period, which is always a huge time of transformation. And we also have a lunar eclipse, a full total lunar eclipse that's on Sunday the 4th. So that'll be amazing too. So big energy, big work. We shall see what we shall do. Maybe we'll pop the whole world into a whole new place in the next 15 days. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, let's take the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So Santari, for you, I know on this one, this day one, we want to talk about what is mastery, how we accessed ours, how can they access theirs. We're going to ask you all, by the way, to share what your mastery is on the secret Facebook group that we're going to set up, so that you really get to engage with people at the level of mastery. But so for you, Santari, anything you want to say about this event and or mastery for you and how you've grown into it?
Well, perhaps if we just start with what do we identify as mastery itself. I think that would be a very useful thing to discuss and talk about, and then feel into it and see what it is, how it actually presents itself to you. If I think about people that I have regarded as masters, then I look at the qualities of the person, of the being, of what it is that I admire, what seems to be at the forefront of that being's repository of greatness. So it might be that you might see there's an assuredness, a very decisiveness about how they think, clarity, consideration for other people, certainly a knowing that there is so much about life that can be explored that you're not looking at just something very narrow and contained. You're looking at a very big idea and perspective about who people are, who they can be, what you're asking them to be, and you talk about mastery of themselves. You're talking about what is this world all about? What is it here for? Why do we want to be here? There's lots of questions that we might look into, but in terms of mastery itself, I think it is something that which deals with a love of people, a regard for who people can become, and to be very almost like considerate that you bring out the very best in people by who you be and what you might say to other people and how you might look at this world and think about this world. Is it a world of genius evolving itself? Or do you see people who are trying to get to grips with knowing themselves as almost like a daily struggle? I think if you look at this world as something which is a fountain of genius, in which people are feeling that there's something changing in their life and they want to understand what that might be, then you might say that that is their version of getting to understand their own mastery, their own genius, and how that might be better embodied in their lives.
Yeah, beautifully said, yeah. I think for me too, the way this has really shown up in ourselves and the people we see, one, it does apply across all areas of your life. It's not like you've got this mastery in one area and then, oh, not in this. It's something that once you've got it, you've got it. It applies to everything that you do. It's who you be in the face of everything and anything. So when you step up to something that might occur a little bit challenging, or a challenging person or circumstance, or something big happens in the world, you step up to it with that sense of mastery, of an ability to be able to transform it, to genius it up, to innovate amazing ways through it, whatever that looks like, be that energetic or consciousness or reality or projects or, whatever you're going to do. And I think one of the key things I want to say is that this new modern day mastery, it isn't something you have to go hone the skill for years and years and years, like, sit on the top of a mountain and meditate for 30 years so you can become a master. It's not like that. It seems to me to be something you just sort of pop into. So it has something to do with vibrational frequency. You gotta be existing at a very high vibe. And I mean almost an exhilarating, ecstatic high vibe. And I don't mean that every minute of every day you're walking around that, but certainly as a basic, you've got to have a love of life. I think that's what puts you in that vibe, and then be willing to exhilarate that love of life and that vibrational frequency as the space you live your life in, no matter what's occurring. I think as well, you've got to know, and everybody we'll be talking to will already know this, so it's not like I'm giving you anything new, but you've got to step up to the mark to play the game to its biggest, its greatest, its most genius outcomes and possibilities. That there is an exhilaration in that mastery of being willing to play. And there's almost a kind of, it's okay however it turns out. That's a part of the mastery too, I think, is that. So those are some of the very basic, fundamental things for me that I would say about the modern day mastery or masters that we're becoming. I think I just want to add something else, which is in our consciousness creation calls in the last 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. One of the things that happened on one of the calls was one day we just popped into this space together, and it was like all the masters we've ever thought of, the Merlins, the Christ, the Buddhas, the Mother Mary's, all that we consider masters. It was like this master consciousness just stepped up to us and said, over to you now. And I've always stood for that. So have you, Santari, and so I'm sure of the rest of us. But actually, wow, like that's profoundly moving to think that we are ready now to step up to that level of the game. And I got to also say, I believe that every single person on this planet can be that. It's not like there's some elite few who are going to become the masters and the rest are not. I don't believe that. I stand for every person on this planet being a genius, and a unique genius with amazing contribution. But wow, imagine a planet of 7 billion masters. Whoa, now that's a game I'd like to play. That's a place I want to live, What could we do with genius mastery going on the planet?
So I guess the question is, how do we make that a reality?
Yeah.
And I think one of the pointers to making that a reality, as you've just pointed out, is to assume that you are this master who you perhaps have talked about and admired and revered for a long time. Mm-hmm. That you are the modern day counterpart of that, and that it doesn't have to look in a particular way. It is not like you have to be this fount of wisdom for other people, but there should be some mark of greatness in you which you are continually acknowledging, and that you use as your own touchstone for whatever purpose and for whatever reason. If I would give anybody any insights into how to be this all the time, then I would say you just assume that you are it all the time. And that how these masters that we have talked about have got to that place themselves has been by continually shifting their thoughts, their understandings, and their own sense of mastery until it finally dawns upon them that they are who they have desired to be in turn.
Yeah.
And to be those 7 billion geniuses and masters requires people to really be it, live it, talk it, and thrill in the understanding that it is something which is already taking place. It is not going to happen at some point in the future where there is a tipping point. Assume that a tipping point has already occurred and that you're already finding the ways in which you are progressing this sense of mastery for yourself.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, let's do some walking through it together. So, first of all, everybody who's watching this, just take a deep breath. Think of something you love. Think of something you absolutely love. Let it fill you up from your toes till it sparkles out of your hands and your head and just fills the space around you. So you've got this exhilarated, high vibrational space that you're living in. And then connect with greatness. It can be your own greatness. It can be our collective greatness. It can be greatness as a concept of that which is waiting to become. It can be godness. It can be anything you want, but connect with greatness. Breathe it in. Let it fill you up. Again, let it flood from head to toe and fill up the space all around you. It's important not to keep it just centered in the body, but to be the space you inhabit in the universe. And it is a universal space. It's not just a planetary space. You are the universe walking. You are the new genius universe, taking steps, breathing language, singing songs on planet Earth for mastery, genius, greatness, godness, all of it. Just let that just assimilate in. Breathe it through, pulse it out, gift it to the world. Always, it's even more powerful when you give it, as opposed to when you just try and keep it for yourself. Feel yourself as that powerful, masterful presence. And then connect with all the others in this masterclass event. All around the world, from Australia, swinging right through Europe, the UK, and right over into the US and Canada, and all over the world. And even some who aren't in the event. All those who would stand up and be counted as masters of the genius universe today. And feel that collectiveness as we begin this journey together. Now call your own genius mastery to the fore, whether that comes towards you from the greater or up from within you or both. And feel yourself stand in the power of your collective mastery. Okay, Santari, does it feel like taking that over at all and taking them on a bit of a journey for their own mastery?
Seems like that was a bit of a journey itself.
It was.
Okay, well, perhaps what I'll say in addition to that is this isn't just about going out and filling the space, and your idea about the universe is like it's all out there and perhaps, you're bringing it here. I think at the same time that when you say, we are the universe, that this is a real thing that we're talking about, and that it's as real as you make it. And it isn't just about sometimes you think about sending energy and gifts to other people, but that you consider perhaps that your energy field, your consciousness, your intelligence isn't confined to this physical body that you find yourself in, but that it does have its own sweep and scope and its own place everywhere, and that we're perhaps just talking about a few things that somehow make it all just sound so and sing so brilliantly and make it feel so more powerful. but each of us will make it more powerful in our own way. And that isn't just about what we might do on this call, but it's about who you, listening to this video, might add to it and bring it to life and share some of your inspirations from this call into every of your daily activities. This isn't just a moment that we're celebrating genius and talking about the universe in broad sweeping terms. This is about us languaging a powerful, energetic thrill of life, and the power of life to dance in us, and the power of life to be thrilling in everything that we do and can conceive of, and that we are generators of amazing new things for people. And that as we think about it in those terms, then we are creating the new constantly and continually in ever more powerful ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think maybe it would be good to do a few kind of tips on how you find your own mastery. I'm assuming that most of the people doing this, because they've all done consciousness creation type work with us, probably already have a good sense of that. I would say sometimes it's the simplest things. So if you're looking for some big, complex, be in the world kind of thing, it might be simpler than that. I think that, for example, if I was to say some of my own mastery, one of the things that I am extraordinarily masterful at, and I would have never guessed this was going to be the thing earlier in my life, I am genius and masterful at articulating that which is unseen, invisible, and never been known before. So I can take it from the abstract, here comes the energy, into tangible, understandable language, form, concepts, get that gifted into the world and turn it into consciousness that people suddenly find themselves living into. So that's one of my key masteries. Is that, Santari? What's one of your key masteries?
To be able to just go ahead and do things without having to wonder, am I capable of doing it? Do I have the tools for doing it? I think just for me, it's just going ahead and doing it, and being who I need to be, whatever that might look like. And also for considering that I don't always have to know about the things which I might lay my hand to, as if I'm Aladdin in this dark cave, seeking out, where the lamp is. I will just say, I already have the lamp in my hand. Let me just polish it up and see what miraculous thing is now waiting to happen. And as I do that, it's just like you bring something to life, which is just waiting to be considered and created and conceived, and suddenly there it is. It's something which is a living thing, which has vibration, intelligence, consciousness, but you've set it free in terms of you've set it free to be in this consciousness of all these other people, and they in turn become aware that what they hold is Aladdin's magic lamp in their hands.
Yeah, exactly. It is just what you're saying. The mastery comes from being plugged into the flow of infinite intelligence. So it like I said, it's not like you have to learn something, and I know all of you watching this know this, but in case there's anybody who hasn't heard me say it before, this is the computer with programming in it that you've put in it. Yes, the mind has many miraculous things, but when you plug the computer into the internet, whoa, and that's the infinite intelligence. And once you're plugged into infinite intelligence, then you have knowing. And knowing comes from infinite intelligence. It's not just like a gut feel. It's a bigger combination of gut feel and what you know to be right. It's the greater wisdoms, and anyone can tap those greater wisdoms. And then your job is to bring them in and marry them into modern day. So instead of because I used to channel, so when I was channeling, if I was bringing through a master and saying what a wisdom would be like, it would sound like something from the these and thous and dearest, and it would go back to the time when those masters were alive. Whereas if you bring it through you today, you're going to do it your way in your uniqueness and as modern and fresh and funky and fun as you can get it. That's mastery, just as wise, just as powerful as anything you would get, as something from the masters, as we used to know them. So I think it's important that we know that it's the infinite flow of knowing, wisdom, understanding, insight, genius, potential, possibilities, all of that. That's what lets us stand in a kind of mastery. So yeah, anything else for you, Santari, that you would say to people, this is how to step into your own mastery?
Well, maybe I'll just give a 60-second journey, if you like.
Great.
So, from this place where we are, we consider the whole of the universe. And all the things that we consider about the universe and already know are only part about what it can be and what's already there. Just waiting for us to look with these seeing eyes which see more than what the telescopes will tell us. We expand our awareness and we realize that everything is in motion, everything is intelligence, everything is energy, everything is this sweet savor and of a song that is continually thrilling every cell in our bodies. And we are all of it. It is not that we need to be connected to all of it. We already are all of it. We are all the universes that have ever been created and made. We are all the intelligences and wisdoms and knowledges and understandings that have ever been considered. It is already there, present in us at this moment. And we just realize it. And we just use it. And we just form new patterns of awareness and new languages to talk with people. And we talk with the stars and we talk with every breath about how beauty resides in the smallest and the simplest of things that we do. And how it is all really a place of wonder that excites us from morning to dusk. And that it will always be so, as long as we have this thrill of wonder that resides in every part of us.
Oh, I love it. That's so beautiful. The thrill of wonder that resides in every part of us. Beautiful.
Can't get it any simpler.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, what else do we want to say here on day one? I think there's something else. Something maybe about collective mastery. One of the things that we've discovered as we've worked together as collective masters in the consciousness creation work we've been doing is that each person has their own knowing, has their own orientation to their genius, has their own work to do. That it's never, okay, come here and follow me and do this. It's, okay, come together, power it on up, do it your way as what you've got to bring, and let that graciously, powerfully move into a collective, swirling, beautiful vortex of creation from all of us. So there's an amazing way of collaboration. Almost feels like too small a word for this. We're going to have to come up with a genii germinate term. Something like that. There's another level of expression for how we are together as masters, and the work that we can do. So I would also say, maybe just before we wrap this up, let's just first have everyone just now feel like stand, whoa, powerfully in your own mastery feeling. Breathe it, pulse it, be it. Stand there and let the certainty and the power of it flow through every cell of you. And then burst it out to the world in this gracious, beautiful gift. feel yourself as master of the genius universe, walking as the universe with all of the infinite intelligence of everything that's ever been in every cell of you. And feel us all connected like a gigantic matrix or a home tree from Avatar, a home tree of universal beings powering up the genius universe for outcomes as yet unknown and unprecedented. And feel yourself able to walk as that permanently, always, 100%. You bring that to everything you are, and you continue to grow and move and learn each day. Now, from that space, if there's anything as we as a collective have to gift to the world today, let's gift it. Yeah, in my case, it's 7 billion plus masters walking on this planet as a possibility of a genius absolute reality for this planet. Whoa, that is so exciting. Gives me chills. So anything for you, Santari?
Well, mine is that everybody is there where we would wish them to be, and that the more that I consider that to be a true and real thing, then the more the possibility of that actually filters through to people to take up and realize and claim this is a true thing for them too.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to ask you all to share in the secret Facebook group that's just been set up what your genius mastery is. And then also we're going to set up consciousness link-ups twice a day. One for the Australian time zones, which will be morning UK, and one for the US Canada side of the world, which will be kind of 5 p.m. UK probably. Something like that, something around those time frames. I'll send them out to everybody so you have them. And then when we do the consciousness link-ups, if you'd like to go on the secret Facebook group and say what you got, so we can start to unfold this ability to have collective mastery, to understand that which we are seeing and knowing and getting and moving for the world, that would be fantastic. So then I'll also be sending out the Password Protected website, which will also have some other recordings and videos on it. So, for example, already in the Masters of the Genius Universe website that I'm about to send you, it has the Genius Body series, so you can go listen to any of that if you haven't already done it. It has the Genius Voice series that Santari did last October, if you want to listen to any of that. And it has the Genius Universe series that we did earlier this year on it. So there's already a bunch of calls on there that you could be playing with if you feel called. Again, it's all in your own time. It's all what feels good and right to you. There's no steps to follow, nothing you have to do. And by the way, if you can't do those consciousness link-up times, do them when you've got time. It should only take a couple of minutes. 30 seconds even is fine. If it takes longer, great. If you're one of those people who likes to hang out in that space for an hour, you go for it. I'm a 30-seconder. I like everything hyperspeed. So you do it in whatever way feels great for you. But it's really exciting to be on this journey with you. And I guess I should also say, as this video is going to be shown on April 1st, 2015, Happy April Fool's Day. It's not a joke. We are masters of the genius universe.
So there may be 14 other calls coming. Who knows?
How wonderful is that? I love it. Okay, anything for you, Santari, before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it for me for now.
Alrighty. Oh, it's brilliant to be doing this with all of you. So here we go. Masters of the Genius Universe. Thanks, everybody.
Bye for now.